That's kind of interesting. It almost looks like the decks are a tiny bit different. You can see here that the bottom of the cylinder is sitting lower on this one anyways, so it kind of compensates. Very interesting. This is a flat surface on the top of the cylinder on the old one, and it had an O-ring in the head like I mentioned there. Now this one actually has a recessed area that this is going to be sitting perfectly flush into, and kind of like locks in there. So now that's like locked in. That's kind of a big difference there. Even though the studs hold it in place, it's just kind of cool that it's like recessed down in there. I feel like that's going to create a way better seal. So like I mentioned, this one was roughly eye-ported, if you will, from someone previously. In there, it's very, very hard. I'm trying to get a good way to light it up. But this is our intake port right here on this side. Was this little boost port, if you will, that goes up here, and then a bottom port coming straight shot out of the bottom of the intake into the bottom of the cylinder down there. We got 4 intake ports with additional porting right there on the side, a lot wider porting right here than the stock one. So there is a lot of more porting going on here on this Polini cylinder. Yeah, these are massive compared to the one single big one. Bridge ported. This should be pretty gnarly. Even the ports up here on the top. And then on the sides, way in here, you can't even probably see it. Taking a look at this crank, and there is a lot of side-by-side play. There's a ton of side-to-side play. And although side-to-side play is normal on cranks, what you don't want is up and down play. This seems a little excessive. I can literally hear it kind of like clacking off. That's why this motor is so noisy in the bottom end. Oh man. Alright, we're going to send it still. But that bottom end definitely looks like this thing might need some TLC here soon. One more thing to note is with this new design and having the intake cast it into the cylinder, you now get with the cylinder kit just this 360 intake right here. And typically you're going to have to buy a Polini Corsa alone is $280, and then you got to get an intake. The intakes are $150. That's $430. So now, which I'm about to get a lot of hate for because I've been calling this a Corsa this whole video. This is called the Polini Evolution cylinder. I thought it was called the Corsa still. The Polini Evolution. These run $360 and basically about $80 cheaper than having to buy an intake and everything. And supposedly these are a lot better. So slap this thing on now and get it sealed up so we can air leak down test it and then get to riding it tomorrow. So it is time to start throwing this motor together. So we cracked open a fresh bottle of some Klotz assembly lube, and we also double checked that our cylinder was clearing everything on our cases